Welcome to Tight Corner on Ghana Stream. This is a show where we discuss issues of importance to each and every Ghanaian. We look at the politics, the economy, all social issues, and every important issue that has been discussed making headlines. Tonight here with me, I have two gentlemen from the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party as well. We'll be discussing many other issues that have made headline yesterday and today. I'll be right back. You're welcome back to Tight Corner. Gentlemen, you are welcome. First and foremost, I'll give you some few seconds to introduce yourself as part of the show. So I would gladly start with you, Mr. Niotu. You give us your full name and then exactly what you represent within the National Democratic Congress. When I'm done, I'll come to my colleague over here, Mr. Emmanuel Yeboah, and then he will give us his introduction.
Thank you very much. I'm Niotu Late, a member of the NDC. And I'm here to represent the party and to talk about matters which are concerned to all. And right. I believe we all know, but before we start, let me even say some few greetings to my parliamentary candidate, Honorable Rashid Isha, who hopefully will be representing the people of OkaiKoi Central after the 2020 elections.
Right.
And all the executives who are really making it possible for these things to happen.
Sure. Right. So, Mr. Emmanuel Yeboah, you have your turn to introduce yourself to us.
Good evening, my brother, and then good evening to my brother to Neokai, and then your challenge viewers this evening now.
Sure.
I'm Emmanuel Yeboah, as just said, representing the New Patriotic Party in OkaiKoi Central. I am the Deputy Communication Officer in the Constituency.
Right. We are privileged to have you here.
Okay, thank you.
So, guys, let's just delve straight into action and then discuss the issues. Now, we are going to look at politics in OkaiKoi Central. Starting with you, Mr. Ni Otulai. Prior to the 2016 elections,
my name is Ni Otulate.
Thank you for the correction, Mr. Ni Otulate. Prior to the 2016 elections, you were in government and then you had the president, and then my brother sitting over here had the member of parliament. But going into the 2020 elections, you have lost both, as in you don't have a parliamentary candidate, you don't have the member of parliament, and then you as well don't have the president. Exactly what are you going to bring new strategies are you going to bring to ensure that you are able to win more votes and then as such win the seat and win the presidential elections in OkaiKoi Central?
Well, in this constituency, OkaiKoi Central, most of the things, varies per each election year.
Right.
And you can see that they are all the same, and the strategies are not something that I can easily spell it out here.
Right.
Because in a political party as we are, the strategies must be done, at the back door, and then the actions will be done on the grounds for people to realize that this is really what the NDC stand for the people of OkaiKoi Central.
That's true.
And believe you me, you also believe in this constituency, and you can attest to the fact that when it comes to developmental issues and things, anytime that NDC is in government, the people of OkaiKoi Central do see a lot of improvement in infrastructure and other things on the ground.
Can you be specific with regards to that?
Well, let me take it one after the other. Let's look at, schools. Well, unfortunately for us, we do not have any second cycle institution within OkaiKoi Central.
So exactly what do you mean when you say schools in terms of developmental issues?
Well, we have a lot of cluster of schools here. We have American cluster of schools in Padama here.
That's true.
Which the government, when the NDC party was in power, was able to put up a nice school building over there. And the school building was completed in the year 2016. It was left with furniture to be, input into it, but it wasn't done. And we're expecting the new government, which is the NPP government, we took over after the 2016 election, to be able to do that. 3 years along the line, the structure is still there empty. And today, I went around looking at some of those things. I realized that it has become a residence for some people. And those living in are seeing that it has been rented for them. How can a school building, and look at the kind of structure that the school children are attending classes in? No. Right. It's an eyesore. And when we have this fine edifice sitting there, you go to Tesano, there's the same thing over there. You go to Apenkwa, there's another structure over there. And those things are meant for people to study in. But nowadays, it has been turned into a residential apartments. And I don't know what really the government is doing about it. We have an MP who represents us over there, and these are some of the things that he must look at. Because if today we are talking of free SHS and other thing, then it means that the basic must be very strong for us to be able to get people who really learn and qualify very well in a very good atmosphere and environment, so that when they are studying, they know that yes, we are studying in a very good environment. And when they are sitting in a fine environment and studying, it makes your concentration on the books more, relevant, and then you can improve on your studies.
Right.
But these are things that we have seen which has been changed into a different things. Look at the rules network also as well. When our government was in power, you see the asphalted roads that we have within the constituency.
Where exactly did you
Well,
see
it
the
started
asphalted?
from this Fadama year on the Chief Fadama Road. Let me be specific with the road.
Yes, but we specifically with regards to the asphalted road, you could see that there was an already a road on it, and then you again asphalted it.
Yes,
but some people,
bitumen, and you realize that there were a lot of potholes when it comes to bitumen surfaces. You realize that it developed potholes very quickly. So the government realized that for us to be wasting time patching roads all the time, it is better to invest heavily into it so that it will last for a longer period.
yeah, I get you right. However, we have other communities within this same area that have not been tied. But if you go ahead and then you go and tie do that aside, some people might think that you are doing it for the sake of politics. So what exactly how does it differ?
You see, in every society and in every government tenure of office, some of the things that you do is towards, other, let me put it this way, you have other agendas attached to it. Apart from it being politically motivated or other things, they are major streets. And this major street, most of the vehicles apply them. So if you have this major streets which are not motorable, and people always apply it, and then they go to the shops, workshops to maintain it, then it means that you are removing money from people's pocket. When John Mahama stated that you put money in people's pocket, not that he's going to put money directly into people's pocket, but he will make sure that the monies that they spend on things that they are not supposed to spend on are not spent in those things, and money remains in their pocket. So in reference, it means that you are putting pockets in the people's pocket.
Thank you so much, Mr. Niu Tulate. If I get you right, you are going to ride on the abandoned project that you have towards the 2020 election. Let me come to my brother, Mr. Emmanuel Yeboah. Kindly introduce yourself, and then you tell us a bit what has been the secret of the NPP since 1996 that you keep on winning elections, OkaiKoi North, and then we've been to OkaiKoi Central. What has been the secret, and what has been the motivation?
Okay, my brother, thank you once again for giving me the platform.
That's true.
As you mentioned my name, the name still bears Emmanuel Yeboah. When we come to OkaiKoi Central, and then we are talking about developmental issues, I think...
Mr. Emmanuel, before you go there, what has been the secret of the New Patriotic Party?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say, because OkaiKoi Central, we are living in OkaiKoi Central, I've been in OkaiKoi Central that of my life, so I know what is going on.
Sure.
From Kufuor time, I think that's where we all started going. So
it was then OkaiKoi North,
yeah. It was then OkaiKoi North before we split to the 2012, we split to the OkaiKoi.
So what has been the major secret?
Yeah. But to go on, let me first tackle what my brother spelled out here, which is falsehood, because he was trying to tell the viewers that whenever the NPP is in power, the NDC is in power, they were doing a lot of developmental projects in the constituency. I think it's false, because my brother don't have any fact to back his claim, because if you are sitting here telling the viewers that your government, which is NDC government, John Dramani government, who started the cluster of schools in the constituency, as he mentioned, Fadama cluster of schools, and then Apenkwan cluster of schools, and then Tesano cluster of schools. He said here right now that the school was completed. It was completed in 2016.
But Mr. Emmanuel, before you go ahead, he made a specific reference to a project that has been abandoned.
So I'm talking about the school that he said, the cluster of schools.
Yes, he said
he mentioned the Fadama cluster of schools and then Tesano cluster of schools, as well as the Tesano cluster of schools. And that's what I'm saying. He made a specific statement that the school was completed. And I want to tell you, the viewers, that it's wrong. The school was not completed. He even said that it's left with furniture.
That's true.
How can school be completed whereby there's no furniture? We are all living in Fadama here.
That's true.
We know the stage of that school. And then since 2016, you can see clearly that up to now, the contractor is still on site doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah. So if you are telling me right now that the school was completed, my brother, is never true.
Yes, I get you right, but exactly what
similar thing applies to Tesano and then Apenkwa. All those schools was not completed. So if he's trying to find or get his fact, he should get to the people who will give him the correct fact. Because we were in Fadama here when the late Professor Mills tried to build a school in Fadama cluster of schools. The school was abandoned. The former president, John Dramani Mahama, came and said,
which exactly school was abandoned? Is there a project over there that was?
Yeah, that was a school that was started from,
I think in 2012.
Yeah, it was started from Atamils, and it was abandoned. The same president who want to come, the former president who want to come again to rule the nation, he came and said, no, let me build new school. And he abandoned the school and then started building new school because he thinks that if he started building new one, he can get something from it, quote unquote. That maybe that's what he's thinking, so that they can get some chop from some place. And then they leave that, they abandoned that school. My brother, they abandoned that school. Now they put a fine edifice there, and the school is still ongoing. They are still, the contractor is still on site. The school is not completed. That building is not completed. When it's completed, the president and then the minister will commission the school. And truly, we know very well that where the school, the stage is, they will complete the school and then commission it.
Mr. Emmanuel Yeboah, if I get you right, but you see issues with regards to, let's say, chop and other stuffs, I would be glad if you can take time before trying to explain it. We're trying to give, we are trying to give our viewers the best of discussions on this platform.
If I'm saying chop, that means why will you come and meet a school there which was completed during your tenure, your boss, the late Professor Atamils, and then you abandoned that school and started with new school?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And you, if you are living in Fadama, you can see that when this president came, and he came and saw that school, he said, no, let me complete this school. And the school, still, that school that your mama abandoned it, they are completing it. Have we gone there to check?
That's true. But how long will it take since your inception in government? We know that as a government, you are supposed to continue the project of your predecessor, irrespective of the political party that might have ruled before you. But however, if you say that the school was completed, as you rightly said, we were left with furniture. So exactly what is your government doing to ensure that we have this project completed, finished with the necessary equipment so that our kids can also sit in it? So what is your government exactly doing? Yeah. What is the member of parliament doing?
That's what I was also trying to put across, that the school was not completed. But
so what are you doing to make sure that it's completed?
And we are doing it. We are about to commission it.
Right.
Because they put the structure there, they roof it, there's nothing in it, no light, and we are living in Fadama here, we know what is going on over there. Right. Day in, day out, day, night, constructors and then mason people are working on them.
Okay, thank you so much on that side. But let me continue with you again. But so what has been the secret so far since 1996 to
the secret so far is very, beautiful, because we in political NPP as a political party, we believe in our ideology based on property-owned democracy. We believe that if we are able to equip or educate more people in the constituency, they can get a lot of things to do that will attract plenty votes in the constituency.
So how many people have you been able to educate, or you provide this support?
As for education, dear, my brother, if you are talking about education right now, we have a president who has campaigned based on free secondary school. You understand?
We will come to that in a bit, but I want us to stay within OkaiKoi Central.
Yes, and
our viewers here are listening, and then they are watching you. So you've been in power as you have been a member of parliament since 1996 up to 2016, and then you'll be going into the 2020 election. So if somebody should ask, exactly what have you done to benefit the constituent? So as he rightly said, he was able to make mention of schools, he was able to make mention of asphalt, road, and others. So exactly what have you done? And then you started with education. I'll be glad if you can give our viewers some sort of dichotomy and then some distinction within that area. Exactly what peculiar thing did you do to improve education within our community?
Yeah. As you rightly said, OkaiKoi, it was first OkaiKoi North, and then we split it to OkaiKoi Central.
Yes.
We divided into two, OkaiKoi North and then OkaiKoi Central. The NPP has dominated since, 1996. You understand?
I've given you the platform. You can even take what is done in OkaiKoi North to this place.
So the reason why we dominated within this constituency is that, one, I think the candidates that we always present is marketable
as compared to the NDC, right?
Oh, it's very 100%.
Can you give a specific example?
Oh, whilst we were growing, our candidate that I myself I saw that MPP was bringing to lead the constituency was Honorable Elizabeth Saki.
Right, and then she was marketable as compared to is it Simon Ekwe or Eshon?
Precisely, she was marketable, and then when we present her, the constituency said, "No, this is the person that we need to take her or send her to the parliament to represent OkaiKoi North." Now, fast forward, we came to 2013 when 2011 when the constituency was divided. We brought OkaiKoi Central, which our candidate was Honorable Patrick Yabuama, very gentle, very nice gentleman who, whenever he stands tall within both the political device.
But do you know that the NDC has never repeated a candidate, as in bringing a candidate for 2 elections, but this time around they are bringing Rashid back? What do you make of that?
My brother, you made me laugh. So NDC has never repeated any political.
I have not seen repeat. They've never brought a candidate for 2 elections.
It's very good. It's very good. They've learned their lesson by bringing a candidate who has gone to the election and he lost miserably, and then this time around he wants to come and then see his smoothness level. Why am I saying this? You see, this Honorable Rashid that we are saying that he's coming to contest Honorable Patrick Yabuama.
Is the same person that was attached to the construction of the road and then the schools, as you see?
My brother.
So do you think that would have an effect on your vote?
I don't want us to talk about roads within the constituency, because that if we are talking about roads within OkaiKoi Central constituency, and it will be like a disaster to the NDC political party.
I get you.
Because that's why I'm trying to. We say we should stick on the candidate. You answer. You give me a question that, and now NDC is bringing. Rashid, who is going for his second time to, represent NDC with the able MP, Honorable Patrick Yabuama.
But at the moment, you see, we don't need to talk about Honorable Patrick Yabuama because he's yet to go into primaries, and then when you might not know the outcome, although he might come out successful. But let's take him as being the MP. Comparing to being a PC.
So I'm trying to give you a history.
Right. Because of time, then I would like to bring in another thing. But however, when you go around getting closer to lab, there are some nice drainages that is ongoing over there. So I wanted to ask you, what is the secret behind? Because you could have made that example because it's within your tenure and then it's ongoing.
We are doing a marvelous project within the constituency, like the drainage that you just allude to it. We are doing drainages, and then we are clinic when you go to Fadama. The MP is building clinic. When you go to Fadama, the same Fadama, there is a sports edifice going on over there, a stadium is going on. When you go to Apenkwa, similar things going on over there. Right, so the whole constituency, a lot of projects going on. Right. You understand? So it's like the MP. As I said, when they brought Honorable Rashid to come and compete with Honorable Patrick Yabuama for his first time, this man was able to bring their vote down. You see, their first PC. Which is Honorable John Mensah. This man was able to manage to get about 11,000 or so different, but 7,000 difference. Honorable Patrick Yabuama beat him for the first time, 7,000. But when they brought Honorable Rashid, this man was able to send their people to 11,000 vote difference.
That's true.
So I don't see this man coming to do any magic again in the constituency.
Right. So Mr. Neo Tulate, and I would like you to come in a bit. Just give us some summary of exactly what he has said.
Yes.
I'll be glad if you can put on your headset.
Thank you. Well, during the process, my friend was trying to, rebut some of the statements, some of the facts I put bare to this program this evening. He was trying to tell me that, the cluster of schools at Padama wasn't completed. Well, I was talking about the infrastructure itself has been completed. It has been painted, and we have light in it, and people are residing in it.
Okay.
People have rented it and have turned it into a residential apartment.
When was the light put on?
You see,
for the purposes of our discussion, I'll come back to you for the last time so that you just give a rebuttal.
When he was talking, I did
we'll
not
move ahead
interject,
to our next topic that we have for discussion.
So I play with that gentleman not to interject me when I'm also making my submissions. You see, I just stated that there are people living within, and that school has been rented out for those people to live in it. It is not, how do you call it, caretakers who are in there, no, but people who says that it has been rented to them. Because I have had conversation with some of them, and they allude to the fact that it has been rented to them, money has been taken from them. Buildings which were put there for people to study in has been turned into a residential apartment, which is very sad. You see, he also goes on. You see, my brother knows little about this constituency because he was just talking about Elizabeth Saki. But when you're looking at, I was around when they started.
Yeah, Mr. Neo Tulate. Let's not go there, but I would like to see him just made a comment that was so interesting to make. He said your candidate is not attractive. See, to the voters. Exactly. How do you respond to that?
Let me tell you something. Akufo-Addo, how many times did he contested on a ticket of the NPP? 4 times. 4 times. The people said he wasn't attractive, but he was repackaged and presented, repackaged and packaged again.
Right.
For the people to buy into some of this idea. He campaigns in the front of 3 SHs. It wasn't his baby idea. It was an idea which was enshrined.
We didn't have the discussion on that. So
no, he was trying to say that.
But we didn't have a discussion on that. So let's. I would be glad if you can stay within OkaiKoi. Let's stay within OkaiKoi Central. Let's understand the dynamics and then
let the dynamics around. You see, sometimes the NDC as a party, sometimes we learn and then we don't try to implement some of the things that we've learned. When you talk about metropolitan, cosmopolitan community, we can classify OkaiKoi Central as one of them. Because look at the basis that we have. We have a lot of these Zongo communities within OkaiKoi Central. We have these quarters within OkaiKoi Central. But I believe and I've really seen that the MPP really work more on the NDC members than working on their own. Because when you check the dynamics of all election results, we realize that all times we have the thing we call the skirt and blouse things. That you see that the parliamentary elections, our candidates have low turnout and the president have very higher than always the parliamentary. Looking at way back in 2012, the difference between the presidential candidate and the parliamentary candidate was just about 2,000. But when you go to the parliamentary candidate, it was about 6,000 plus.
That's very interesting.
Yes, it was very huge. So you see, we've not studied it. Most of the times, and people now, as we see, and as we are alluding to the fact that we don't know whether Patrick Boama is coming, because me, I don't see NDC.
No, I didn't say that. I don't know whether Patrick Boama is coming. Exactly the point. Exactly the point was that Rashid has gone into primaries and then he has won his primary, so he is on the ticket of the NPP now. Honorable Patrick Boama, who happens to be our MP, is yet to go into primaries.
They've not even open nomination.
Yes. So let's take
Boama will even contest. It's neither here nor there.
Sure. So that is where I wanted the argument to stay. The argument to stay between a parliamentary candidate of the National Democratic
Please, if you allow me Congress, to, sometimes you will not waste so much time on some of this.
Yeah, and sometimes I need to interject for the benefit of our viewers to understand exactly where you are heading to and then where we shouldn't head to. So look at it. See
how the host is treating me.
So kindly continue with this statement.
What I'm trying to say is that you see, sometimes they work more on our people, and we've also realized that. And you see, there are people now, as we speak, do not see eye to eye with Boama. And as he sits here, they are always campaigning for Boama because of their biasness towards him. So they always want to campaign for him anywhere they go, and that's how it has been. But you see, people really on the ground, he doesn't attend to them. He only attends to them when they have these funerals and things and go and make donations and walk away. You always see him in the basis of the NDC people when he's trying to extract arm of our vote from there. And we've also realized that we've told our friends that, Master, there are so many things that you stand to gain when you have your own member of parliament representing you in parliament. There are many opportunities when it comes, they don't get to you because you do not have a rep in parliament representing your party, and everybody knows it to be NDC. last Salah, when he was making donation, he was making huge sacks of rice to NDC members, and he was leaving his people. Why? Because he knows that yes, his people will always vote for him. But his people have also realized that he's not someone that they can always work with, because they trust him, that they've given him the opportunity. He must also be able to feed them the same way they have been able to feed him to go to parliament, and they are not doing same. But we've also learned that no, if he is on the other side and is giving our people this much, and our people also realize that if he's giving us this much, then we can get more than what we are getting if our own is over there. And we are talking to our people, and they are buying into it, and they realize that no, they have been misled for a very long time, and they've resolved that this time round they are going to support the candidate Rashid Issa.
Sure, fully. I get to do support the candidate of Rashid Issa. So in a minute, Mr. Yeboah, tell us what will make you win the 2020 parliamentary elections in Okaikai Central. In a minute, just in a minute before we go ahead.
In a minute, let me address some issue that my brother put.
That should be within the minute.
Yeah, I know. Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second. He just said that the schools that is not completed is being rented. I think my brother, he needs to get his fact correct, because it's never rented. Those living in the schools are the contractors, and then these people, the mason, and then those who are working for the school to be, completed.
He said he has had a personal interaction.
It's never true.
With them.
That's how they behave. Right. That's how they behave. Who rented to them? And if you are saying it's rented, why? Who's supposed? Whom are you supposed to go and see before you make that allegation that the room is rented? And where are the documents that back that this is my the money that I pay to this so and so? They are just making allegation, which is mere allegation.
So do you believe that if somebody is able to show you a document that shares,
my brother, if he can even bring it, tomorrow, for the viewer to see that this is the document that shows that they've rented the school.
I guess you.
So he said that the MP, Honorable Patrick, is always with his people, the NDC people, and he's sharing people things to the NDC people so that they will vote for him. We in the NPP, we believe that. Governance is about all inclusive.
All right.
So assuming that Patrick Boama is always with the NDC people, and then they see that this man is very good. He's always doing it, because the NDC people were in power for 8 good years. They couldn't do anything to them. They couldn't give them the right that they were saying that Patrick Boama is giving to them. But this time around, this man is always with them. He's seeing them through that. This is what they need.
Yeah, boy. Let me come in a minute.
It's not about votes.
I would like us to talk. You see, issues about this giving of staffs and other things. I think it doesn't augur well with our democracy. So that is why in our earlier conversation, I asked you exactly what will make you win the 2020 election, because if you want to use rice and other stuff to win the election, I think you are being, let me say, unfair to the constituent. So exactly what policy, being the deputy communications officer, you should have been close with your member of parliament. He should have given you policies, programs and projects that he has started, the ones that he says to start, and exactly how these things will benefit the constituent and will make them vote for you. That should rather be the point of our discussion. So I'll be glad if you can go into some of these projects and programs, because you are in government. One, you are in government, and then you are in parliament. You have both. So in 2020, I think the citizens would demand more from you. So that is what I want our viewers should be seeing, that you are projecting the programs, the projects, what the ideas of the party.
Thank you very much, my brother. You've drawn my attention to this issue, because as we just said, there are a lot of projects going on within the constituency. We can talk of drainage. You can talk of Atfatin Road. Go to Tesano. When you go to Tesano from, when Abeka Junction to La Paz. When was that road done? Right. From Abeka Junction.
And that would be enough to win you the elections.
No, it's not enough, and we are doing more. Right. Go to Apenkwa, where the circles, the garage over there. A big drainage is going on over there. Go to Olengele. Go to Wayama, Abutre Junction. When you go to Abutre, for the first time, they've seen a drainage going on over there.
Right.
And very soon, that road will be asphalted. Right. Go to Fadama. We have about 5 electoral areas within the constituency. And every electoral area, there's a project going on. When you talk of borehole, when you talk of toilet, when you talk, I mean, a lot of projects going on that is going to sell the.
In a minute, let me come into the side of the toilet. That is very important to us. You see, as a nation, and then as part of the United Nations development goals, I think we are moving away from creating public toilets to ensuring that households have toilets within their houses. So exactly where are you talking about toilets? Which where in the constituencies there are toilets located?
there is this a ministry that is that has been assigned to bring those initiative and to the constituency, and this is the Honorable Hawa Kumsin ministry.
Local government.
Yeah. No, it's not local government. It's Minister for I forgot the ministry. Honorable Hawa Kumsin ministry. They are doing a lot of basic needs. Okay. For every electoral area. When you go to my electoral area, I live in Blemago. We have about 3 boreholes within Blemago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is my first time hearing.
Yeah. You know, because you don't want to check. You
okay.
as a media,
I'll
you
do
go
that.
around and see.
Yeah, I'll do
within
that.
the electoral area, within the constituency.
So Blemago, right?
When you go to Blemago, I can show you about right now. I can show you a borehole that now when you go there, you can see the water.
3 boreholes.
Blemago. When you go to, I can give you.
No, I'm not doubting what you are saying, but exactly for the purpose of verification.
Yeah, when you go to Blemago,
you see, as a media, for example, we have the responsibility of getting back to our viewers. So
that's why I'm saying that when you go to Blemago, it's my electoral area.
Yes.
When you go to Blemago electoral area, I can boast of 3 boreholes, which is ongoing.
Yes, right. And then we are saying that we would come and check on those stuff.
Exactly. So we need to do that.
We'll do that.
So this project and then toilet 2 is going on. When you go to St. Lawrence, the Minister for Special Initiative and Development is building toilets around that vicinity.
Okay,
you understand? So a lot of project is going on, and what I'm trying to say is it's not about the MP being sharing things to the constituency, so that, or as he said, he's always on NDC sharing things to them. That he want to get vote from them. It's never true.
Right.
This man is always with people, and he's doing a lot of things within the constituency. I said, when you go to Fadama, you can see that there is a very nice clinic going on over there.
There's no clinic there. It's a cheap compound. Please
look at what he's saying.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
It's a cheap compound. It's a cheap compound. When your government was in power for 8 years, can you show me one cheap compound within?
Yes, there was a cheap compound constructed by J.K. Mensah. When he was then assemblyman, that building was part of it was pulled down and then turned to how it is now.
And who is J.K. Mensah? Was it
J.K. Mensah was then the assembly member for Gbemumu electoral area. If you don't know, let me educate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. The debate has just started, and then it is very interesting seeing both trying to bring out issues that are of importance to OkaiKoi Central. As I have said earlier on, this is Tight Corner, and then we'll be going into our second next of item on our list, and then that will be very interesting to hear from them, the MPP and then the NDC discuss on it. The debate is quite interesting. You could see some inputs being made, issues of rice is popping up, and then you could see that we have a school that has been abandoned. So until when can we end this issue of abandoned products within our constituency and by far Ghana as a whole?